Afternoon from Small Boat Restoration. Skipper and Clark digging around in the shed looking for to try to figure out what we are keeping, what we're sending on to other destinations. Part of a just a little general clean out, fall cleanup. But we've got this storage loft in our shed, and some things were put up here when we moved in. When the shed got here, and we're finding out they've been here for years now, and haven't moved, so we're reassessing what's here. Some different videos we've been watching on clutter got some good tips to help kind of sort through some of the clutter, make things easier to get to, and think about what you want to keep, what you don't want to keep. But this more just a video inventory, so later when I'm going, well, where was that thing at, I can look at this and see whether it was up here or not before I drag out the ladder. But over on the port side, we have the templates for a wooden sunfish, all the frames that go inside of it. And then next to that is a little gadget that our friend Doug Elliott described to us to help figure out bevels when you're fitting thwarts into a little boat. It's got adjustable bits on either end to figure out the side angles on a boat. Then we have got a template for a Drascum dabber center plate. It's usually made out of steel, and we had a dabber at one time, and those things can rust if they're not properly taken care of. So we had it out, took a pattern of it just in case you ever needed to make one later, or someone else needed one over here on this side of the Atlantic. We also have some patterns for the Penobscot 14, the transom frame pattern, and the centerboard case. And for those of you just getting into boat building and watching the videos, you might be learning. This might be the first time you saw it today, or maybe you've seen it. But when you make a pattern for something, like a frame on a transom, you only need to make half of it. You don't have to make the full size, because you can lay it down on your piece of stock that you're cutting it out of. You know, draw a center line on your stock first, and then flip it over, line it up neatly, and make the full. Well, cut the full size object out of that. Next up is a what's this for? Our catfish catamaran for the centerboards that go into it, because everybody needs and there's two of them, one for each side, so everyone needs those. And then these long objects are plank patterns for the 1880s Mississippi river skiff Barbashila that we rebuilt. So we've got a pattern for every plank that's on the boat. And then here we have some patterns for the bow seats up in the bow of the 1880s Mississippi river skiff named Barbashila, that was designed by Captain T.P. Leathers and built for Miss Winnie Davis. So we've got that stored up here. We might build a replica one day. Already have a name picked out, but would be named Honeycon, but that's one of those down the road in the what we call the fantasy me. The fantasy me has time to get the lumber and assemble a 21-foot Mississippi river skiff for no other reason other than just to build it. So that's one. You might make your decision on whether you're keeping something based on, is the fantasy me, am I ever going to get to that? Or it's like, yeah, no, that time has passed. I'm probably not going to get to that, but maybe someone else will. And I appreciate the folks who put the videos out there helping us sort through some of the clutter. And then also up here, we've got some spare tires for both the wagons and Skipper's little cart that she pulls behind her mower. One little space saver idea is if you have this little rafter here, we can, it's probably called something else, but I would call it a rafter. Can attach our battery boxes to. This little strip is very handy to plug different things into and keep have a little roll of batteries there. So one thing I liked about this clean out plan was to not overwhelm a person. They say try to find 5 objects in 5 minutes that you can get out of a space or get it to the place where it does belong. So what we came down with today is we've got this pink foam board that's, I think we actually moved it from Florida. I don't know why, and I'm looking at it now going, it's been in one spot for 2 years, don't know why. I can't even remember exactly what we bought it for in the first place. Maybe a train layout project, and kept the scraps until we were sure the project was done. Well, here's scraps, so they're gonna find another place. And the little box of bronze bits that don't fit on any boats we have. By bits, I mean these are little knees that would connect a seat or a thwart to the side planking of a boat. And there's a few oarlock sockets that are 1/2 inch. You know, we're not tossing them, but if you see something you like, can't tell you exactly what the angles are on these right now, but it's either went on top of a seat, most likely it went below a thwart attached to a plank. Nope, that angle doesn't work. Let's stick with it going on the top of a seat or a thwart. Side plank over here, thwart on the bottom. A few different angles. You could, I don't know what kind of boat they came off of, but you could build a boat to suit to match them, but those are probably going to go on eBay for basically as much as it cost us to have them shipped somewhere. So if you see them and you want them on this video, drop us a comment and get in touch with us. The other few 5 items, 5 minutes we got into the paint locker here to find cans of paint that you pick them up and you feel the paint's completely dry inside. It's past the time for that to be gone, so you can get rid of that and reorganize so we can get a better idea of what colors we have if we need to order something, or what colors we have had for a year or two and maybe don't need. Maybe you can pass them along to somebody else who could use them for something on a project. What else did we get into today? Oh, and it counts if you find little bits of trash. We found some trash on this little table here and threw that away, so that became one of our 5 items. If you find more than 5, that's great. But I think the key thing really was to, try to limit it to about 5 minutes, so you're not out here all day long in the heat or the snowstorm, trying to get through every shelf and every corner all in one go. Next, I think when we start, because the next up is to start going through this shed. We've got a few more patterns hiding over here for a transom for a cat boat, and some paddle patterns, is to go through these paper patterns in the file cabinet up here to see what's hanging out here. But you've seen it on our video before. We kind of laid our shop out. This is kind of the design area with the patterns and the tools we need to start drawing things out, tracing things out. And then we work our way over to the cutting tools, where we start to cut things apart. And then these tools here, drills to start fastening things back together. And then we have sanders to start putting the finish on items. And down at the end, you've got your finish for your coatings, your paint and your varnish. And then over here is the hardware section, along with some tools that don't use that often. This little shelf up here looks ripe to go through and see what's up there. And for little bits of hardware on small boats, you can use just your old tackle box that your uncle had, unless you're still using it for fishing. And then maybe make a decision if some of this Christmas decoration needs to go somewhere else, possibly, because we're losing a lot of shelf space here where in the past I put little 2x4 shelves, and I can spread out my paint cans where I can see what I have better. But I also like looking at Christmas decorations throughout the year. And down here is the transportation corner where we have a box full of straps and items we would need when we tow a boat on the road. And a few other tools that I talked myself into buying and having to use, like a chainsaw. And this nice variable speed polisher. So that's what's got us started looking around today to try to reshuffle the clutter, if nothing else. And I know that Richard and Doug will have comments about how this is this is not clutter. They know what clutter is. So we hope y'all are doing great and having a wonderful day. And that about does it.